Our new topic for this week is going to be intuitiveness. Wow. What is intuitiveness? Well, we all have intuitiveness. It's like a second thought of your consciousness. It's your own spiritual warning sign. So to jump right into it, got a couple questions to ask everyone. Think about this. Have you ever had a situation where you said, I should have followed my first mind, or something just doesn't seem right about blank, whatever that is, or I should have known better, or say something like, I'm getting a funny feeling about blank? Well, all of those things are part of, we all have it, it's part of our intuitiveness, intuition. There's an old word that the phrase used to be called, or still is called, mother's intuition, to actually state that a mother has a keener sense of knowing when something's not right with her child or her family. So just want to talk about that, and using our mind cinema, we will close with a short affirmation on how to strengthen our intuitiveness. How do we get in touch with that? I would like to say that there's a term, intuitiveness, and then there's intellect. And what's the difference between the two? Well, intellect in itself is just it's information that we've all picked up from the external world, which gives us our ideas and information. But this is all outside of the inner spiritual self. Now, intuitiveness is basically a spiritual, from the God mind, or in your God mind consciousness, of something that's within, and it is there all the time. You may have heard the term ESP, which stands for extra sensory perception. It's supposed to be something that some people have the gift, they were born to be able to predict the future, or they can see something before it happens. I'm not talking about any of that. The intuitiveness that I want to talk about is intuitiveness ESP, something that you will have all the time. You may not even know you have it or been aware of it, but it's there. And it's there to help guide you. We don't wake up saying, I don't think we get up in the morning and say, okay, let me plug into my intuitiveness ESP. However, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Thus, part of this message, is to talk about that. So first of all, I want to share a story with everyone about what is that intuitiveness ESP. And as I tell my story, perhaps you can recall one of your own, something that may have just been early as today, yesterday, last week, something that you may have experienced which was part of your intuitiveness. Something told you, or you felt something, and you either acted upon it or you ignored it. Sometimes we do both. So here's my story. Some years ago, I was working as a social worker with a client, and I needed to basically check in with this client periodically to ensure that this family was, safe, and the client was faring well, and just all is well with this home. That was part of my job. One particular, I never will forget this, one particular Friday, I went to pay a visit to this particular person, client, because on Monday we would see each other in court, and I just wanted to make sure that the client had all their information that they needed to get their case closed out of court, and the judge would be happy and we could go on. Well, that was the purpose of my visit on that Friday. And here's the deal. Here is the deal where the intuitiveness came in, and the outcome of what happens when you listen to your intuitiveness or your intuition. The phrase we're using is intuitive ESP, again, extra sensory perception. But to keep it all simple, it's this. I was at the client's house, and we had a very successful, productive meeting about what they needed to do. And they were really prepared. I was very proud of them. And I was thinking, hey, we're going to get this case closed out in court, and everything's going to be great. And I recall, towards the end of this meeting, I was standing out in front of the client's door, and we were talking, preparing them to say our goodbyes. And I want to say it was around maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I never will forget this. And I still tell this story to this day, but now on a larger level. As I was talking to the client, first there was a feeling of nervousness in the stomach and kind of a quick racing of my heart. Didn't know what was going on, didn't pay any attention. I just kind of thought, I'm getting anxious because it's Friday, and I'm gonna get ready and enjoy the weekend and all of those good things. However, as I stood there and those feelings came, they subsided, something, and listen to me carefully when I say this, I got a feeling that I needed to leave. Something said, and the something is that intuition, that whatever it is that we have that warns us, said, it's time to go. Right now, leave. Well, I wasn't sure where this was coming from, and never felt this before. Been to the client's house several times prior to this, so this is the first time. But it's a feeling, and the feeling said, let's go. Get out of here, leave now. Well, this particular day, I happened to be obedient to this feeling, or I listened to my mind, and I made up an excuse. I told the client, I just forgot, I have to go, I have to be somewhere. And I excused myself quickly, not knowing why. Well, after we bid our farewells, and I said goodbye to this client and left this house, Monday morning, we meet at court. This client shows up, arm in a cast, in a sling, I'm sorry, not a cast, but an arm sling. I looked at the client and I said, wow, Mr. Blank, what happened to your arm? And here are the words that sent a chill through my body. I mean, literally, it's one of those moments where you're just so overwhelmed when someone tells you something of this nature. He looked at me and he said, Mr. Bozeman, as soon as you left, I was still outside my front, and I was standing where you were standing. I said, yes, sir. And what happened to your arm? He said to me, do you know, Mr. Bozeman, I got shot. I said, whoa. What do you mean you got shot? What do you mean shot? Shot. He says, yeah, shot, bang. They weren't shooting at me, according to the way this client described it. They weren't shooting at me, Mr. Bozeman, but a stray bullet flew in my direction, hit me in my arm. And I was standing right where you were standing. Whoa. that just was too deep for me to conceive at the time. However, after I, expressed my sorrows and all those things, I realized something, that it was a warning. My own spirit, intuition, was letting me know I need to move from harm's way. Wow. So this is just an example. And I end that story by just saying that was one of mine. So one of my stories of how intuition, and please forgive me for using such a graphic one and one with violence, but that's the one that came to mind, and that's the one that really stays with me all the time when I talk about listening to the inner self. So I'd like to go now, and as we wrap this up, just to say this, I would like for a short meditation of an affirmation treatment I'm going to give. And as you think about this, think of any situation that you may have had where maybe you listened to your intuition, maybe you did not. But the key point here is that when we want to work with our mind cinemas, we want to get into our mind that listen to ourselves, get in tune with yourself. And to get better in tune with yourself and nature, or the nature of yourself and your spirit, you can do it simply by short meditations. And meditating will take you there, reconnect you, keep you connected with yourself. So as I close, I want to play this track again, and I'm going to just say these words. Eyes can be closed, eyes can be open if you choose to. But here we go. I turn from my intellectual to feel and react to my intuitiveness, and the intuitive wisdom from my higher mind regarding, and there's a blank. You can fill that blank in whatever you choose. Again, I turn from my intellect to feel and react to my intuitiveness and the wisdom from my higher mind regarding my blank. Whatever you want to put in that blank is yours, and yours to own. And again, just think about these things as you go through your day. Turn to your intuitiveness. Listen to what your mind is saying. Listen to what it is talking about. Change any type of things that need to be changed, and all you do is just think about it and say, I turn from my intellect and I turn to feel the wisdom of my intuitiveness. On that note, so it is. Namaste. And I look forward to seeing you at the next video. Namaste.